Welcome to Glow Getter Guru. Let's go on this journey together to ignite our inner spark and illuminate the path to success and happiness. On this show, we're diving deep into the world of empowerment, motivation, and personal growth. Whether you're chasing your dreams, building your empire, or just need that little extra shine in your life, I got you, girl. Each episode, I'll be bringing inspiring stories, thought-provoking insights, and advice to help us unleash our full potential. So let's be the luminaries we were born to be, and let's light up the world together.
Welcome to Glow Getter Guru.
Welcome back. If you've come back from the first episode, welcome for the first time. If you're new here, my name is Alexandria. I am so excited to meet you. And today, let's talk about embracing the cringe, the uncomfortable quest for growth, from awkward to awesome. Okay, let's get serious now. So I am in that phase right now with this podcast. So I wanted to talk about it because this is something that I've been doing recently, which has been highly, highly, highly uncomfortable for me. But I'm here doing it with you right now. So you get to see my cringe. Hear my cringe, maybe see my cringe. I don't know. I'm still figuring things out. But what I want to talk about is that when you're trying something new, or something that you have no skill at, well, I guess that's the same thing. When you're trying something new, or if you are trying to continue, say you showed an interest in something, you maybe tried it out, and now you want to get better at it. We're going to talk about like the natural discomfort and the challenges associated with that personal growth and that self-improvement. And you've probably heard it a million times, or maybe this is your first time hearing it, but we want to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Being uncomfortable should be your new regular normal thing when you are trying to like elevate yourself or level up in your life. So it's not just like a new skill or learning. Part of that is like if you want to speak up for yourself for the first time, it could be cringy because I don't know if like you've ever had a scenario where you're like standing up for yourself or you're speaking up because you're uncomfortable about something, and maybe you're a person that normally lets things slide and you're uncomfortable in certain situations and you usually let it slide, but maybe you got to a point one time where something was so uncomfortable you're like, I have to say something, and then you say something, and then afterwards you overthink it, like all the different ways you probably could have said it better, or think that you could have said it more respectfully, or maybe you feel like maybe you should have been a little bit like more disrespectful when you said it, or more assertive, and you just go over it over and over and over and over again in your head and you think about the thing that you said to that person, and every time you like relive that moment in your head you cringe, or you think about that person's facial expression and you cringe. And I'm talking about like when you're thinking about those things, yeah, cringe, because that's part of the process. Like we're gonna cringe. I'm cringing right now. But I like to take my cringeable moments and then laugh at myself. Like, girl, you really did that. You really said that. You really embarrassed yourself, or you really like you're not normal, and really these things are normal because we're all humans and we all have these similar or almost near identical situations where we feel this way or we do certain things. Like, I love when I see like creators and like video compilations of like things that people don't normally say out loud. Like, I don't know, like how they are I don't know, like things that people do, like common, like as like women, you might go into the restroom and we do some common things in there that no one speaks about, but then a creator will come along and say things you do, things we all do that you think that you're the only one who does it, and then share these things, and I'm like, oh wow, okay, I'm not weird. We all do that thing, and so yeah, I love things like that because it just reminds me of when I'm super uncomfortable and I'm looking back on these memories and I'm cringing, that it's okay to laugh at it. It's okay to accept it as part of the journey, as part of my own personal growth. And and um let's see, I made some notes here. Um yeah, it allows you to explore like the concept of your comfort zone, because if you think about anything you're good at today, you started off in the cringe area. Most of us have. Some of you people out there are the type of people who try something for the first time and then you're just automatically good at it. I mean, not everything, but most things. But most of us can relate to the uncomfortable feeling of starting something new for the first time. And so we need to think about why being so uncomfortable and being cringy is just part of the journey. Oh my goodness. I just feel like today, like everyone just wants so much instant gratification. Even I'm guilty of that sometimes. Sometimes you like people that have gone through the motions already and then they show up as that person on the other side and we see that for the first time and we think, "Oh, that looks so fun," or "That looks so easy. I could do that." You know? And I love that we have confidence in ourselves like that sometimes. Like I definitely can do that, and then you go and do that thing and you feel discouraged, you know, those people have all went through the uncomfortable stage and like the cringy stage, and the difference is they accepted being cringe, and that's what you need to be doing. You need to be accepting that you might sound stupid, or you might be like me and you're just talking to yourself in a camera and a microphone, but yet for some reason I cannot breathe. Like my chest is so tight from being anxious right now because I just know, like, I'll look back on this video 6 months from now and I'll be like, oh my God, girl, why? I'll just pick it apart because that's what we tend to do. But actually I'm gonna just put it out there that I'm like right now I'm gonna tell myself not to pick myself apart, but just look at it and say, oh, I've improved so much on this area, instead of like, oh my God, cringing at like, mm, why didn't you do your hair, or why didn't you clean off your makeup desk? My makeup desk. I'm recording a video. Don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna post it or not because technology. But yeah, like I have my makeup vanity desk in the camera and it's like super dirty, and I don't know, 6 months, I'm going to say, maybe you should clean your area. Like, well, look at how far you've grown. You have such a better background than you did back then, you know, and things like that. I'm not going to, I might cringe because I'm all about embracing your feelings as they come. So I will take the cringe and I will let it cringe from my head to my toes. But once it's done passing, I'm going to say that is part of the journey. And if I looked stupid, or if I got like a weird comment, or if someone that I know said like, "I can't believe you did that," like, "Why would you do that? That was like cringy," then I'm just gonna accept myself as human. And I just know that as time moves on, I'll get better. And I feel like you should take that approach as well, because that's how we level up. So, like, whatever job you're doing now, when you got hired and you started your first day, you were anxious, you were uncomfortable. Maybe being trained was very like worrisome for you. Maybe you made some silly mistakes or you asked questions that you could look back on now and think that was so stupid, but now you're so good at your job, you know? Or you're so good at parenting now. Like when I had my son, like a few weeks after he was born, this is a cringy story. But me and my boyfriend, we both thought, like, I thought I buckled the baby. I thought he buckled the baby, and he thought I buckled the baby. The baby was covered in a blanket in the car seat, and we put him in the back seat, and we strapped the car seat in. But then he started crying a lot, so we pulled over, and he was completely upside down in the car seat. Like his feet was where his head goes, and his head was where his feet goes, and we were looking at each other like, oh my gosh. And that was a lesson learned for us as parents, to always double check and to communicate about these things and don't make assumptions, because I'm just like, oh, he's such a good dad. He's going to buckle the child in. He's like, oh, she's such a good mom. When she straps the car seat in, she's going to strap the baby. But, it was a mistake, and I can look back and I can cringe at it and just be thankful that we weren't in an accident, and it was we just noticed a few minutes later, but the whole baby was upside down. That is so funny. But, then I look at me as a parent now, and I'm using this parent analogy, which is actually kind of a weird one because it's so subjective, for one, and for two, um, there's like no handbook or no instruction or no professional. I know there are people that call themselves parenting professionals. I don't think anyone can be a professional in parenting, but I definitely see the growth and I can definitely think of the cringy moments along the way. And even now, I feel like there's going to be so many cringy moments. But yeah. And then recently, I've been going through this practice of self advocacy, which I'm going to tell you the story in a future podcast. But for the first time ever, I had to advocate for myself, like at my current job. And usually, I have built up the courage to negotiate when I'm applying for jobs for the first time. So I had all the confidence in that area when I'm first applying to a new job, and we're negotiating what the offer is going to be, and sign on bonuses or whatever vacation. But I have never like spoken up at a current job for myself when I feel like something needs to change. And I just recently went through that, and I'll talk about it on the future episode. I'm kind of still going through it right now. So I'm just trying to evaluate like where my emotions are and things like that. So you'll hear about that later, but I'm having a, a lot. I want to say an F ton. I haven't decided if I'm going to be cursing on this podcast, but honestly, most likely I am. So, yeah, this podcast is not for children. Anyways, yeah, so I'll tell you about that. But I'm like going through cringy moments right now. But the key difference is I have been uncomfortable for like a month and a half because I've been embracing something new, which is advocating for myself. And I'm telling you, for weeks, every single day, I've been having like this pit feeling inside of me because I'm like, am I doing the right thing? Should I be speaking up? Like, and then I think about, statistics around women and all that. And I'm just like, I'm going through the motions. I'm so uncomfortable. I don't know what I'm doing. And I don't have anyone to get advice from, like that I know personally. So I have been doing a lot of research on the internet. And basically, um, I've gotten to a point like right now after like almost 2 months where, like I said, I'm still going through it. But um, I have that uncomfortable feeling, but I'm just going to push forward because it's going to be what it's going to be. And that's how I think we should embrace things. So if you want to go and start dance class and you feel like, I don't know, you don't have a booty, you can't shake it, you're too skinny for a booty, or you're too overweight, you think you can't move fast or you can't be in certain positions, girl, just go do the damn thing and embrace it. And I know it could be scary because when you're like around people that may know what they're doing, it gets even worse because you're like, these people are looking at me and I feel like I don't belong here. And I'm like, in my head, in our head, we think we're standing out, but really we're not. Sometimes we're right and we are standing, like sticking out like a sore thumb. Is that a saying that people say? I feel like that's an old saying. Somebody give me a new saying that's like standing out. But, anyways, you feel like you're sticking out like a sore thumb. And sometimes you are sticking out and people are looking at you and people are judging you. And other times you think people are looking at you and judging you and you're standing out and you're not. People are worried about themselves and not you. And in both of those scenarios, that's not your fucking problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to take care of ourselves. And we have to be okay with being uncomfortable so that we can become that great dancer, or we can become that great podcaster, or we can, be the person who goes after this thing or goes after that thing and that doesn't give up on ourselves and that chooses to believe in ourselves, knowing and accepting that we're going to be uncomfortable, maybe for the whole time. for an unspecified, undetermined amount of time. We might feel uncomfortable, but one day it will click or you'll see a level up. I love when you continue something and you are like feeling not doubts, when you're feeling doubts, and then time goes by but you're still doing it even though you're feeling doubts every day, every month, but then all of a sudden you look back and you see the progress. Nothing beats that. Nothing beats it. So, but you have to be willing to be uncomfortable to even get there. Like, people are giving up now before they even try. It's like they're scared to look like they're trying. They're scared to look like a beginner. I mean, I'm scared to look like a beginner. I hate knowing that people think I'm trying, and I hate that I'm not like a professional at these certain areas that I want to be very, very good in, or that I'm still learning, or that I'm struggling in, but I am not giving up. Like, people have watched me like go up and down in my weight over the years. Like, I cannot keep a consistent weight, and ideally, like, I would like to be fit. That's one area that I have always struggled in. And like, I'll go on my little like, what is it called, a little like streak on social media every now and then, where I'm like posting me working out, or I'm talking about my workouts, or I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get this sweat in. And I feel like, some people are like, oh my gosh, she's like always working out, but she never loses weight, things like that. But to me, it's just, I'm still learning and I'm making progress. And sometimes I lose progress, and it's part of the process. And the whole time I'm uncomfortable because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. But the key is to never give up, or you'll never figure it out. You know what I mean? And continue to be uncomfortable, continue to be a beginner. Some people are beginners for a long time. Some people are beginners for a short time. Everybody's journey is different. But the purpose of this is to say that you can't stop, just because you feel those things. Yeah. So I would say, like I said earlier, you take that feeling and you add some humor to it, or add inspiration to it. Look up like some of your favorite people that inspire you, and like go to YouTube and find them in the beginnings of their journey of whatever it is. I mean, like, one of my biggest idols is Beyonce, and she's such a boss. She's such a great entertainer, an amazing entertainer. Um, that is not up for debate, by the way. But there were things that to me were cringe when she was younger, and things that now I'm like, that was nothing. Like, I've seen so many people online clowning her about the way she used to walk in high heels. Like, come on. Beyonce saw those things. She knew those things. She might even have been uncomfortable in those heels, which is why she walked like that in the first place. But guess what? She's fucking Beyonce today. You know, she went through all of those things. She's fallen on stage before. She's hated giving speeches in the past. You know, she's been picked apart. All of those things, I'm sure, contributed to her having like cringe moments. She probably looks back on like times where she sang the wrong note, or maybe she forgot the words, but I feel like she's the type of person who looks at those things and cringes, and then she says, what can I do better? And I know that she watches back her old videos so she can continue to get better. So I just feel like she's someone who's always embracing being uncomfortable and then pushing herself so she can get to that next level. That's got to be a regular practice in her life. And I really admire that, and I want to embody that too. And the thing is, you have to find like your joy and your fulfillment in those moments where you make those little, like, I cannot speak, when you have those little accomplishments, when you realize I'm a little less uncomfortable than I was when I did it last time, because eventually it goes away. And it's like finding joy in those moments and tracking your progress so you can know where you stand. Um, yeah, I think that's all I have to say today. Um, that is just embrace the cringe. Embracing that uncomfortableness builds confidence. It's actually, it builds the confidence that you want. Being uncomfortable is what leads to the confidence. So do that. And yeah, let me know if you're working on anything right now that's making you uncomfortable, or that you're scared, that you would normally be scared to share with someone. Um, I challenge you to try something new and sit with your uncomfortable feeling, or go back to something that you used to be good at that you haven't done for a long time, that you know that you are probably going to have to work on if you jump back into it. I challenge you to speak up. And when you feel uncomfortable speaking up, just sit with it and see how you feel. And then after you sit with it and see how you feel, realize that you didn't die and that you accomplished something when you pushed through. Maybe you enjoyed yourself, or you were able to say, I have a new goal, or you were able to say, hey, I did that and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be when I had that pit in my stomach. So go get them, glow getters. Go get them. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for listening to Glow Getter Guru today and for tuning in. I really appreciate you. Do me a favor. If there was something that you loved about this episode or that you connected with, please let me know. Connect with me on Instagram. I can't wait to hear from you. Talk to you soon. Bye.